So the second IP that we're going to have a look is trademark. If you guys have ever seen this symbol TM, which is subscript, they basically is a symbol. It is actually basically a symbol for trademark. So what is a trademark? It is any sign, logos, or words, but more commonly a distinctive sign that distinguish goods or services produced or provided from one person to another. In Malaysia, we have a Trademark Act 1976, and this is stated in Section 3, whereby trademark means a mark used or proposed to be used in relation to goods or services for the purpose of indicating or so as to indicate a connection in the course of trade between the goods or services and a person having the right either as proprietor or as registered user to use the mark, whether with or without an indication of the identity of that person. Simply said, Section 3 define trademark as any kind of mark used in relation to any product or services, by a person or a company, whereby when they see the mark, or the sign, they know that it is from this company, from this person, and what are they offering in terms of services or the product that they are selling. So TM includes words, brands, logos, colors, that's why I have different colors here for different words, slogans, shapes, and sounds. So all this could be trademarked. So trademarked is usually denoted by TM, but sometimes you also see this, right? R enclosed with a circle. So that means that the logos or the mark is also trademarked and it has been registered worldwide. So this means that it has been registered worldwide. So trademark basically is a trait of origin for marketing, and it is very important for marketing, for product recognition especially, like I said, so that you would recognize it immediately, and of course very important to businesses. For example, if I would say McDonald's, can you imagine the logo? You could write just the kind of like M, but it is actually two arcs, with the red color. So everyone knows that, even kids from far, when they are traveling, so when they see those logos, they know that there is going to be a McDonald's nearby and they want to have some burgers. So those are the importance of the trademark. So a mark can also be a device, brand, heading, label, ticket, name, signature, word, letter, numeral, or any combination thereof. So you could combine them, any one of them as well, not just words or just for sounds and whatnot. Now, we would see in a while, there are many words that you could associate with trademark. The same with brands. Just an example I was just giving you is the McDonald's. Logos, very similar, such as Nike, whereby you see the tick. Colors, Google. Slogans. Do you know what is the slogan of Nike? Right? So I'm sure some of you do know. The shapes, basically kind of like the cross shape, or any shapes that is associated with it. Now, the last one that I'm basically going to explain in a while, probably going to explain in detail, is on sounds. Because when I was teaching this, usually students would ask, how can a sound be trademarked? So you could actually trademark a sound, but the sound has to be unique and reflect either a product or a service or anything associated with it. For example, again, I'm just going to give you an example from Harry Potter because it's easy. Not that I really like Harry Potter, but because, well, I do watch all of them when I was in UK, so more or less it's actually easy for me to remember some of it. So in terms of sound, for Harry Potter movies, they have a different opening of the movie, right? So kind of like a very similar music. So those sounds are actually copyrighted. And one other example I'm going to give you is McDonald's. Can anyone remember what is the sound of McDonald's? I mean, from the commercial, the advertisement in the TV. So there is a distinct sound that signifies for McDonald's. Go search for it. For advertisement of McDonald's. You will know what I'm talking about. So those sounds could be copyrighted, provided that they are unique. You couldn't just copyrighted a sound, for example, a bird chirping, but it has to be combined with some other sounds. So a sound alone, okay, which is from nature, usually couldn't be copyrighted. But if you were to combine some of the sounds, especially let's say if you go to a isolated location, you recorded a sound of the bird and waterfalls and whatnot, you combine them to a unique composure, then it could be copyrighted. Alright, so what are the types of trademark? There are 3 types only 3. Okay, so first we have service mark. Service mark could be any word, name, symbol, or device used in commerce. Second is certification mark, which is more or less similar. Any word, name, symbol, device used in commerce with owner's permission by someone else. So that means that it is more or less kind of like a franchise or being reused. And the third one is collective mark, which is a trademark or service mark used in commerce by members of an association. And this is mostly associated with franchise. So what are the functions of trademark? Basically, they function as a protection with exclusive rights. They are capable of distinguishing, like I was saying early on, when you see the 2 arc of the red that signifies McDonald's, you know, okay, it could distinguish from any other mark. Quality, advertising, asset or economic value, and of course, branding, the most important thing in business. And what are the qualities of a good trademark? Okay, so you have to remember, if you want to trademark anything, so in the future, or any one of you are interested in business, so when you have a product, you would want to market it, right? So it would be better for you to have your own mark. So when you design something, okay, it has to be distinctive. It has to be non-descriptive. Non-descriptive in terms of when you see the McDonald's, okay, the 2 logos, you can say that it is an M. It doesn't really look an M. It is not really an arc because there are 2 kind of like an arc combined and whatnot. So it is non-descriptive. So anything which is non-descriptive is good. Okay? Qualities of a good trademark. So the next one is original. First and foremost, definitely has to be original, not a copied version or a modified version from whatever mark that is already registered or available or recognized. Next, non-deceptive. What I'm saying about non-deceptive is, sorry to say, in China, because, well, my old laptop is in UTM, so of course I couldn't show you because I saved actually one video there showing of signs that are being copied worldwide. Among them, the most photocopied sign is McDonald's. So there is one more or less similar fast food chain in China. I'm not sure whether they sell burger or not. They use symbols similar to McDonald's. Just that, okay, underneath the arc, they have kind of like something at the base. So the color is red, okay, but it's not really an arc. It's quite have a curve, and underneath it has a base, kind of like just one line. So people would thought, okay, at first glance or just a quick glance, that it is a McDonald's, but it is actually not. So it should be non-deceptive. Okay, so the last one is actually registrable. So registrable, which means that, okay, if it has all these 4 qualities prior, then of course it could be registered. Alright, so one other thing that you need to remember is that you need to avoid the INN, which is pharmaceutical trademark. The number are actually international numerical nomenclature stamps. For example, if you have a COX-SIP, okay, for COX-2 inhibitor, which is a type of anti-inflammatory drug, so you should avoid, okay, the INN stamps such as this COX-SIP, okay, in your brand, in your mark, and so forth. Right, so trademark need not be registered, but of course advisable for claim of ownership, because if you have come up with a very nice mark and you don't register it and someone else sees it and register it, and then you go and say that that is my mark. Well, originally, yes, you did create it, but because you didn't register it and that person first registered it, so every right goes to him or her. So don't be like that. Okay, if you think that you have a very good mark and it is nice, marketable, well, go and register it before it is being copied or being, well, the idea taken by someone else. Now, among the benefits of trademark registration are nationwide notice, ownership evidence, invocation jurisdiction of federal courts. Okay, so this is where, okay, they basically, okay, could settle down, okay, some dispute, provide a basis for obtaining registration in foreign countries, prevent importation of infringing foreign goods, monopoly of use in association with goods or services registered, and of course, trademark protected prior to use. Now, like I said, trademark is often denoted by the TM and service mark by SM. So when you have the R enclosed, which means that it has been registered at a federal label. So may only be used once you have registered it with US Patent and Trademark Office, not just in your country. So certain marks, however, might have already been registered. So usually you need to do a search mark, often done before the registration. So the common law protects the right of the actual use of a mark, kind of like protection of a business reputation and goodwill, and also as a protection for consumers from deception and confusion, such as in the case of the McDonald's logo just now, facilitates technology transfer, ensures quality control, tools of effective marketing strategy. And I would just like to go back on this, protect consumers from deception or confusion. Have you guys ever go to some of the food truck? Sometimes when they sell drinks, there are lots of drinks now. Food trucks selling drinks, right? Variety with boba thing and so forth. Have you ever seen some of it using green color logo, which is almost similar to Starbucks? I have actually, once in Johor and one in KL. So a good mark shouldn't be causing confusion or deception to the consumer. So try not to do that when you want to design something. And for trademark, it basically lasts up to 10 years and can be renewed 10 years thereafter. How many years can you register? It actually depends, as long as it would bring something good to you. So some of the trademarks, however, could not be registered. What are they and why? First and foremost, if they are likely to confuse or deceive public. So I'm sure if those kind of logos that I was saying early on of the similar color or almost similar design as Starbucks, if they were to register it, of course it would be rejected. Comprise any scandalous or offensive element. There are a lot of offensive or scandalous element, especially if it is related to religion. Generic term, which means that it should describe the product. If let's say you are selling coffee, don't use the word coffee as your trademark. It will be definitely rejected. Okay? And lastly, words descriptive of the goods and services, similar thing. Okay, the third and the fourth point. Now in Malaysia, usually unregisterable trademarks follow the same guidelines as this one. Okay, we have the 4 plus 2 other conditions. Consist of word or words or representation of the royals. Any one of the royals in Malaysia. We have how many royals? 13, right? I think so. Okay, so be careful of that. Anything that is representation of them, even some of the color, you need to be very careful, especially the royal gold. It shouldn't be in your mark, shouldn't be used as well. And last, identical or confusing similar trademark well known in the country. So should also avoid that. And one other thing, I think it is not really more or less being used as a guideline, but anything that is related to religion shouldn't be used as a mark as well. I'm just going to give you an example. Have you guys ever seen a Chevrolet symbol? It's more or less similar to plus sign, right? And another one is actually I could remember the brand. It's Swiss something. Okay, it also has kind of like a plus logo. So they are actually quite similar to the Christianity. So but the logo has been developed so long, before we have all this registration and whatnot. So it is still being used, But in the future, if you were to design something, make sure to avoid anything related with religion as well. So these are some of the examples of the TM. So you may see this symbol, followed by C, TM plus C or whatnot, or sometimes SM. SM is actually not really seen that much anyway. So for example, if you were to open up, your Internet Explorer, your Chrome, go to Google, see that at the end, you have TM, right? So that means that it has been trademarked. And Google is one of the design, which is just simple Google, just the word Google, but different color, right? How many colors? There are only 4 colors. So it is basically just word plus color. So Google was trademarked basically before we know the term Google. Previously, Google doesn't have any meaning. Google has only entered the Webster Dictionary in 2018, if I'm not wrong. So prior to that, there is no meaning to Google, but now Google has a meaning, which means that you want to search for something over the internet. So it is allowed. But nowadays, okay, if they haven't registered and they want to register, usually it's not acceptable. Okay, so same goes, okay, with Nike. So I'm sure you guys remember, okay, so this is a sign for Nike, sometimes with a word, sometimes with not, or they have a tag, right, which is just do it. Okay, so usually the sign also has R, which means that they have been registered by at the US Trademark Office. So the same goes, okay, with McDonald's. Okay, so the arc there. Okay, so what I meant earlier on in the one in China is actually they have a base here. Okay, similar. It's just that it's red in color. It also have R, and it also has a tagline, which is "I'm loving it," which has also been trademarked. So don't think that you could just use it anywhere you want, okay? Because it has been trademarked, it belongs to them. Correct. All right, so let's move on to the next video.